Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give. I have a message coming to you actually from an event that I went to just last night. A Dr. John Demartini just live talk that he did here in Melbourne, and it was actually called The Alchemy of Achievement, and it was all kind of focused on how we as individuals can kind of, create gold from within, and that's why it was titled The Alchemy of Achievement. But really, what I wanted to share with you was one particular really amazing kind of one of the quotes that he mentioned. One of the things that Demartini said at this event, and he said many, many things, like many, many incredible things, a lot that I've heard before because I've studied a lot of from the incredible Dr. John Demartini. But one in particular thing actually stood out above all else because it got the whole room kind of going, wow, like in unison. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because it is a really different way of thinking about this whole concept around negative self-talk. And most of us can think about negative self-talk and we are like, you've got to get rid of it, like really, get rid of that negative self-talk and you shouldn't have it, blah, blah, blah. But what he actually said was that negative self-talk actually serves a really great, amazing purpose. And I love looking at it this way. So he actually said that negative self-talk is here to wake you up from trying to be someone that you are not. And it was I really loved hearing everything that he spoke into yesterday, because the whole purpose of my mission and the work that I do is to help people, get inspired authentically, to start being all of who they are, to start appreciating and loving and knowing who they really are, and knowing that when they tap into that and they start living in alignment with that, that's actually how you wake up your genius. You get to uncover what that really is, and you get to unleash your greatness, which you guys are always hearing me say that to you guys. So I wanted to talk into a couple of things around this negative self-talk. So if we have a perception of negative self-talk as serving a really empowering purpose, such as trying to wake you up to stop living somebody else's life and to actually start living your own, it's super, super powerful. And if you're not aware of Demartini's work, his foundational piece that he just, leverages everything from is around the concept of uncovering your highest values. And when you can do so, you can get clear on what your purpose is, what your mission is. And he talks into how, we all have the capabilities of being a leader, and a leader is somebody who is internally inspired. They've tapped into what they value most and they're living congruently with what they find there. Whereas a follower requires a lot of external motivation because they're attempting to live in another set of somebody else's values or what they think they should be operating in other than who they really are. And so instead of being inspired from within and not needing any motivation to know what you love to do and just do it and have all that energy that we get when we get fully engaged in something that actually means something to us, followers tend to rely on that external motivation, pleasure, reward, or pain, in order to actually get into action and do something. And that is a clear sign that we are not clear on what we value most, and we're certainly not living in alignment with it. And definitely one other thing that he really mentioned around this concept was kind of an eye-opener for me, because I love, a lot of what happens in life has been happening for human beings for millennium, right? But it's so powerful to be able to put language to what's actually going on. And one of the things that he spoke into was consumerism, in terms of, he said that consumerism is compensation for not living in alignment with your highest values. Now, let me break that down. So when he refers to consumerism, he means that, you're you're just constantly watching television, or you're constantly just scrolling through social media and distracting yourself. You're just fully immersed in entertainment at the detriment for your growth, really, because you're spending so much time in entertainment, in consuming things, all of that sort of stuff. And what he really said, and as well as food, consuming things physically, in terms of food as well. We over consume as a compensation for not living in alignment with what our highest values are. And I know this in my life all too well. Oftentimes I can get to a point where I notice that I'm not looking after myself as well as I could be, or I'm just like focused on, I don't know, like food or like a distraction. It used to be going out and partying like 6 nights a week, and getting involved in that kind of like entertainment, distraction, consumerism. It was really alerting me to the fact that I didn't know what I valued most, and I certainly wasn't living in alignment with the truth of who I was. And so if we have these different ways of being able to kind of get the message and get the wake-up call, that whenever we are overly consuming, whether that is food or social media or entertainment or sports or whatever your vice is, whatever that thing is that you go to, drugs, alcohol, whatever, whenever we're getting caught up in that, really what that is a message that we should be picking up on, that is, hey, wake up. This is not fulfilling. You are trying to distract yourself from doing the work and putting in the effort to actually get clear on who you really are, what you really want, and having the courage to go after it. And I really do not believe that life begins until we reach that point of really starting to uncover who we are, what we want, and having that courage to go after it. The whole reason why I do the work that I do, and I'm hoping that me sharing this with you guys is absolutely going to step you forward to your next level of empowerment in terms of knowing who you are, what you want, and having the courage to go after it. And that's kind of what, the whole kind of thesis of everything that Dr. John Demartini spoke into over the 2-hour talk that he delivered last night here in Melbourne, was really just reiterating the power of values. And if you don't have clarity over them and you don't have alignment with them, you're really just subordinating to somebody else's set of values, somebody else's life, somebody else's shoulds or musts or expectations that are not fulfilling to you. And negative self-talk is a way of depreciating yourself, and it happens as a wake-up call whenever you are operating in lower values. The moment you step into getting in alignment with what you value at your highest level, that is when you tap into a level of inspiration that you get so engaged. It is when you lose all sense of time, space, your need to eat, your need to sleep. You get fully immersed, you get fully engaged, you're fully inspired. That is what life can be like every single day. Guaranteed, we're human beings, so we're going to have the ups and downs. We live in a world of duality, that is there to help and support us to get to a new level of our potential. But we can live in that inspired state much more often than not if we do the work to really identify our highest values, have the courage to align with them, and stop subordinating to other people's expectations or your perceptions of their expectations on you. You're always going to feel burnt out when you go down that path. You're going to be tired. You're not going to want to get out of bed, and you're just going to want to immerse yourself with distraction after distraction when you're not in alignment with your highest values. And it's exactly why whenever I work with people, this is the number one thing I always begin with. I'm just doing a course right now. It's actually the last week of this first round that I've offered this program, and the very first week we tackle our most inspired values. And it is really the underpinning to every piece of success that you want to have in your life. You can be externally successful, but if it's not in alignment with what you value most, you're never going to be fulfilled by it. And the moment you wake up to that fact is the moment you can actually go, okay, I get it. There's no magic pill. Nobody is alive and existing for the true purposes of my fulfillment. Only I can do that for me, and only I can know what I value at the highest degree. So I have to go and do that work, and I have to build that foundational piece out so that I can live to my highest potential and definitely generate fulfillment in all other areas of life. And that is how you get empowered achievement, fulfilling achievement, where you're not just externally successful, you're actually fulfilled from within because you're so inspired and you love what you do and you do what you love. And as Dr. John Demartini would say, when the moment you can jump out of bed because you love what you do so much, the world can't wait to get your services in terms of what you love to do. All right, so we've got to wake up to this fact and realize that the number one energy drain in our lives is trying to be somebody that we are not, trying to live to expectations that aren't in alignment with our highest values. And if you want real energy, if you want to tap into that untapped, limitless energy source, it's all about inspiration. Obviously, there's all the biological things that you can do on the health and physical level, but guaranteed, the mind-body connection is strong. Get in alignment with your highest values. And if you'd like help doing that, and that's something that you would be really interested in doing, I'd invite you to jump on a 15-minute power session with me. I think I've put the link up above, yes. And I'll have a chat with you about how we can do that and how I can help and support you. There isn't anything more important than beginning with a foundational piece of what inspires you. Not anybody else, just you. Nothing is more empowering than that and powerful to get you to your heights of your potential. All right, definitely want to check in with you guys. So if you've got any questions or comments or anything that you'd love to share with the community, now is the time. I'd love to jump in and engage with you now. So let's do it. Who have I got? I've got AJ and Sam. Awesome to see you. And Darren and Russell and Shuvo and Hakan and Sam. Looking so elegant and beautiful. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And Moin is here. And Hassani and Mario. Great to see you, my friend. And Maggie and Sam. So great you had a chance to see him again. Absolutely. And I'm getting to see Dr. John Demartini again at, when is it? I think it is the end of October. I'll be going up to Sydney and going to his prophecy course, a 7-day intensive about up-leveling all 7 areas of your life. Oh my gosh, I am super excited. He's such a wealth of wisdom, and I can't wait to share everything that I'm learning at that event with you guys when I go. So yes, absolutely. Thanks, Sam. And Donald's here. Awesome. And Jocelyn and Jabs and Sam. Yes, inspired within as a leader. Boom. Absolutely. And Jocelyn, so true. I need to focus. Thanks. You are so welcome, and grateful to have you here. Awesome. Definitely got to focus, but you've got to know what you're going to focus on. And actually, that's week 2 of the empowerment program that I run as a group coaching program. First week is all about, uncovering your highest values, getting into alignment with what you value most. That's foundational. You can't go anywhere without that. It's just going to be hit and miss. And week 2 is then getting into focus, utilizing the law of attraction, getting focused, training the reticular activating system of the brain to know what's important, to get that vision, to get that clarity, to get that direction based on what you value most as an individual. All right. So, and then you step it up. There's 8 total steps, but I love delivering that to you guys. And yes, let me know if you're interested. I'm going to do round 2, and I'm super excited about it. At this stage, I'm not quite sure of the date. It'll probably be around the 11th of June, but I will keep you guys posted. Make sure you're letting me know if you want a spot in that program with me, because I'd love to take you through it. And Tahir's here, and Monica and Donald. So true. I was just thinking about that the other day. Awesome. Love that this is resonating. And Befera, hello to you. And Brian, hey VGP, thank you for day in and day out bringing the impact. Oh, what a great point to evaluate my level of entertainment immersion. Oh, I love that particular part resonated with you, Brian, because freaking-lutely. And I like I said, in terms of putting the language behind it, because I've known that pattern within me for a long time now. I know that when I start potentially like overeating or craving like unhealthy foods, it's a wake-up call to me now to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, where are you selling yourself out? Like, where are you not in alignment here? Because that's what happens when we operate in lower values of our own, when we're not operating in the highest values, we depreciate our own value, and that's why we start treating ourselves poorly. That's why we stop backing ourselves towards our potential. That's why we stop putting in the effort. That's why we start having these unhealthy distractions that turn into addictions, all because we're not living in alignment. We can try and figure out how I can stop overeating and stop eating chocolate, or we can stop trying to treat the symptom and we can actually get to the cause. And that's always foundational. Values first. I can't stress it enough. And I hope you guys I bet you guys are just sick of me drumming it into you. But I love that, Brian. Thanks for sharing. And Sam, I'm guilty of creating so many connections on Facebook, which consumes so much of my time. So Sam, what I would say to you is that, it's not so much the act as it is in terms of why we do it. Okay, so if it is because, a lot of people who may be making a lot of connections on Facebook, for instance, it actually might be serving their highest values. I'll give you a great example from my life. My number one highest value is teaching. Okay, so I utilize Facebook to connect with all of you guys who give me a platform to do what it is that is my absolute number one value. So I love building more and more connections on Facebook for that purpose, right? So that I can absolutely serve and I can be of value and I can live in my highest values. But then there's a lot of us who, I don't do much consuming on Facebook. So if you're a friend of mine, you might think I don't really see any of your stuff, because I don't really, because I'm not doing much consuming. I'm really doing a lot of producing and creating. But that's how I utilize it. But for other people, those connections might be distractions from their purpose. Maybe their highest purpose is all around, and what they're really driven by is all around creating, I don't know, like a software program. I don't know, and that's their juice. But then they get all distracted over here with creating Facebook connections, and it's taking them away from their highest values. Maybe building connection is down here and lower on their values, but because they're not living in their values, they're trying to find people or whatever to distract themselves with, and throws them off path, and they can get into that unhealthy dynamic. So it's absolutely up to you to not just go with, say, what I might have mentioned, and you might think, oh no, being on social media must be a bad thing. It's up to you to decide why you do what you do. And only you can really know whether that's coming from a place of fear and distraction that's taking you away from what you value most, versus actually having a bit of self-acceptance and actually seeing that I get so much fulfillment and inspiration from these connections, and it's serving a purpose and it's taking me towards my highest values. So just analyze it in that way, and don't listen to other people's judgments about whatever it is that you do. You've got to work that out for you. So I'd love to talk more about that with you. Beautiful Sam, you are so amazing. I'm so grateful for you, as you know. And Elliot is here, and Peshwa is here, and Syed. Glad to see you and listen to your talk. Have a great day today and every day. Oh, that's so kind of you, Syed, and I'm really grateful that you've been able to join live, and thank you for that beautiful message. I really appreciate it, and wishing you the same. And Randy's here. Hello to you, and Melissa and Mario. I love your message today, Vanessa. I'm super grateful to hear that, Mario. Thank you so much for letting me know. Glad it's of value. And much love to you, Billy. Grateful to have you here. And Annette's here, and George. And Billy, you are so, so welcome. Grateful that there's value here. And Ray and Hillel and Huss. Oh, good. It's a question. I love it. Always give me questions, guys, because I really, really enjoy them, and I get a lot of inspiration from them, so it's a gift to me. Huss, What if some things are just new and uncomfortable for you, but you know you need to do them? For instance, I know I need to eat healthy and I want to eat healthy, but I have negative beliefs around cooking. I don't really enjoy it, but I know it's something I need to do to reach my highest potential. Yeah, so absolutely. So I think we might have had this discussion, and I know you've done some work around Dr. Demartini's sort of ideas and concepts around this. So hoping that me talking into this is of value to you. But what I would say to you, Haas, is that we have to link our values to the things that will help us get there. So with your example, the idea, well, there's two different trains of thought. I'll give you both, and I'll give you the one that Dr. John Demartini would utilize more so in his own life, and he just drums that out. So firstly, the first way to go about it is to identify, okay, if eating healthy, or being healthy, got to make sure that that is really high on your values. And if it's not, you've got to get honest with yourself, If it's really high on your values, your life will depict that. There'll be a lot of, you'll see yourself making those healthy decisions and choices. You'll be really focused on doing the research and taking the time to really work that stuff out. For instance, my health is my third highest value. I've got teaching, I've got learning, I've got my health and my beauty, and then I've got traveling. And so they're in that hierarchy, and what I would say is, firstly, got to get clear, is it even on your highest values? If it is, and you've got this negative belief around cooking, two things you can do. Number one, you can start doing more and more of that linking. So consciously, if I just do the cooking, then it will allow me to eat healthy. But, if you're really not getting into it, it means that you see more disadvantages than advantages in terms of doing that cooking. All right. If you really want to get yourself inspired to cook, then you really have to outweigh the disadvantages with the advantages. So I would encourage you to come up with, 50 to 100 different advantages for you actually doing your own cooking if you want to inspire yourself to get healthy through nutrition, through cooking for yourself. Dr. John Demartini would probably tell you, and what he does in his own life, to delegate the things that you do not enjoy doing. Whether that is to somebody that you live with, whether it is to hire a chef, all these different reasons, all these different ways of doing that. He is somebody who does not cook, right? And he even made an example yesterday that he said he hasn't cooked since he was like 20 or something, and he hasn't driven a car for 27 years because driving and cooking are just not at all in his set of values. And instead, he spends his time researching, writing, traveling, and teaching. That is what he does. That's how he spends his life, and he delegates much of the rest. Everything else is just delegated so he can focus on his highest values and be as his most inspired self. So you can either link why cooking is going to help you meet that highest value of your health, that you link it by stacking up all the advantages for doing that and how it's so attached to that particular highest value. You want to take it to the next level, attach it to all your highest values. But you have to absolutely make sure that you've been so brutally honest with yourself that you've got absolute clarity over what your true highest values are to begin with, because if it's not working out for you, we've got some blocks there, and we don't want the block to be that you're trying to operate in this kind of list of shoulds that you're calling your highest values rather than what you're really inspired by. And it could look like anything. There is no right or wrong in terms of our values. Did I answer that question all right? So linking or delegating would be the very short answer. Link all the advantages, and definitely you might even want to list all the disadvantages for you not cooking in terms of meeting your highest values there as well. Hope that was valuable for your Haas. And one thing I want to say on that, because I know from my own personal experience, and I know from being in these environments a lot, when people say delegate the rest, you're like, where am I going to get the money for that, right? So you're like, yeah, right, that's all good for you, you billionaire, whatever. But honestly, this is how I like to think about it. We can build to our level of delegation. Yes, there's going to be a period in our lives where we absolutely have to do it, and we have to be able to link our values. We have to inspire ourselves and get into action. But also there's ways around that, and definitely be building ourselves, knowing full well that when you as an individual tap into what truly inspires you at your highest capacity, like I said earlier, like DeMartini would say, the world cannot wait to get your services, but when you're trying to operate and get motivated and try and build income and all this sort of stuff in a realm that really doesn't inspire you, you're never going to be at your best. And therefore, you're not going to be able to tap into the highest level of service and value that you can offer. And therefore, you're not going to be reciprocated with your highest available value that you could be offering. If you tap into what inspires you at your deepest core, you are absolutely engaged and on a mission in that direction. That is where you will absolutely become your most rewarded financially and spiritually, emotionally, all of it as well. So just wanted to make that side note. So appreciate that, Huss. Hope that was of value. And Dwan, I love having you back. Great message. Thank you for sharing. What's your feeling on Eckhart Tolle? Curious. Awesome. So I love Eckhart Tolle. I haven't read or engaged in much of his stuff over the last couple of years. But back in about 2013 was when I really immersed. I picked up The Power of Now. And that book, whoa, did that wake me up. At the time, I was actually in a really big challenge in my relationship back then. So my relationship at the time, my ex-relationship now. And that book, in particularly the relationship section, absolutely woke me up to the kind of connection that I was generating that wasn't actually love. It was so conditional. It had so many rules, and that book absolutely woke me up to a whole new level of relationship. So I don't really consume. I tend to be the kind of person who I get totally immersed and addicted to somebody extraordinary, and I go to town. I go super, super deep with everything. I do all their courses. I read their books. I go deep. I fully immerse myself in it. And then I don't know how it happens, but then somebody else comes along and then I'm there with them. And I might come back at later times. But yeah, Eckhart Tolle is one of those ones that I was fully immersed with. And I've taken a lot of value, and I still utilize some of those lessons now, absolutely. But I haven't been, to be honest, I haven't dove into his work for a couple of years probably now. So yes, I love the question, and I hope that was of value to you, Dwayne. I always appreciate you being here. And Michelle's here. Awesome. And Sam, yes, inspiration unlocks limitless potential. You got it, my friend. I could not have said it better myself. Absolutely. And another Vanessa. Love it. Great name. And Randy, the Raz. I teach on that as well. Feed the filter positive thoughts. Absolutely. Love that, Randy. Yes, absolutely. That reticular activating system in the brain, you train at what to focus on. So, and what you focus on, you get. So most of us are walking around life focusing on what we don't want, what we fear the most. And I actually have to remind myself of this all the time, because I can I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. And I can start to see that that's manifesting, because we get what we focus on and we attract what we focus on. And so to know the law of attraction and how it works, that universal law is really guiding, how we focus in our brain determines our reality. So if we are focused on the negative and everything that we don't want, guess what? That's what we see, that's what we focus on, that's what we make things mean. Versus when we realize the power of our focus, we can train our brains to actually focus on what we do want, get that clarity, get that vision. But you've got to start with values, because that is what makes it individually fulfilling for you. Your authenticity, your highest values, what's most meaningful to you. Then you get to town with focusing. So love that, Randy. Thanks for sharing. And Charlie's here. Awesome. And Vanessa, I'm loving that this is very true for you. And Mashud and GD and Vanessa, how to grow a business. Great question. Probably a really big question. It's a bit general. So I don't know what kind of business you're looking to grow. For me personally, I only have experience in terms of growing my particular version of business, which is an online business. And so we can have a chat about that. That's probably a really big topic. If you want to have a chat to me about how to do that, definitely book in one of my 15-minute power sessions. I'd be really happy to jump on a call with you if that's what you're meaning in terms of growing your business. But to me, to give you a short answer, business for me is long-term relationship. That's what it is. You know, going into all that you do with a long-term vision coming from the heart, ensuring that the business that you are choosing to create is absolutely in alignment with your highest values, and you're doing it for the purposes of serving humanity. And I'll tell you what, a funny thing happens when you tap into what inspires you at your highest level. You will find a way. It is human nature to find a way. No matter what that thing is that you're most inspired by, you will find a way of how to serve humanity through your highest values. You will find a way. It doesn't matter if it's you love video games, or you know, you're like me and you love teaching and learning. You know, that's why I've run the business that I do. It is in full alignment with my highest values: teaching, learning, health and beauty, and my traveling. You know, what I've created in terms of my online business allows me to do all of that to my highest capacity. So that's how I believe we can't grow truly successful businesses unless we are fully inspired, because from inspiration, we're willing to do the work. You know, a lot of people look at what I do who know me and they're like, whoa, like that's so much work. It's so much effort. Wouldn't you rather just go and get a 9-to-5 job? And I'm like, no friggin' way would I want to do that, because to me, it's so engaging. It's so inspiring. I'm so grateful for the work that I get to do. It's not work. I'm just grateful that there are people out there who I can help and support and get fulfillment through doing that and serving at my highest capacity. You know, so, you know, when that is how you live, work is not work. It is your mission. You know, you have that long-term vision. And for me personally, I focus on long-term relationships. I give from the heart, and I know that the kind of people who I can support and help are going to be attracted to me, you know, and that's how I'm going to be able to serve them and help them and take them on an amazing journey. So that was a short answer. But if you want to jump in and if you want to give me some more details about your specific situation, I'd love to jump on a call with you, Vanessa. So it's awesome. And Dominique is here, and Shane, awesome. And Dominique, have a gorgeous day, Vanessa. Thank you, Dominique, and wishing you the same. And, Vanessa, you have great energy. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. And Sam, I use Facebook for resources, coaching, mentoring, learning, growing, and empowering myself. So grateful for your feedback. Sam, see what I mean? Like, you are living in your values, you know, and, you know, if that's how you utilize Facebook, you know, there's a lot of people who utilize Facebook as just a pure distraction because the way they've set up their lives is absolutely not in alignment with their highest values. So they're just trying to distract themselves and just forget the pain that exists within, you know, because we always know when we're not living in alignment. So for you, Sam, using Facebook for resources, coaching, mentoring, learning, growing, empowering yourself, boom, like that is super empowering. So that's what I mean. I love that you can get that clarity within and don't just listen to people who say shouldn't be on social media. Depends on your purposes. So absolutely love that. And Scotty's here, and Alex and Phil, awesome to see you. And Charlotte just tuned in. Well, I really hope that you catch the recording and get all the beginning of today's message, and I hope that it's valuable for you, Charlotte. And Vanessa, are you a singer? I imagine you have a beautiful singing voice. Oh, Vanessa, you are so, so kind. I am not a singer other than in the shower and in the car, but I actually used to, you know, all throughout my primary school, I was in the choir. I was actually a choir captain. I was actually just talking to a friend this morning, actually. I was talking about we were actually talking about our differences in how I love being on stage. I love being a speaker. I love presenting. I love connecting in that way. And it was a real big fear of his, like a lot of people. And we were talking about how our childhood experiences have got us to that point. For him, he had a really bad, embarrassing experience on getting on stage and being laughed at. And for me, one of the things I brought up all these different times where all my memories from being a kid, there were times when I was getting up on stage, I was singing a duet with a friend, or and laughing our heads off and giggling, but it was so much fun, as a kid. Or when I was a kid, my granny, actually, I was lucky enough, she took me over to America, and I got to meet my pen pal who I'd had for years over in Chicago, and I actually got up on stage and presented to her classroom about my life as a Aussie little kid, and all these different experiences. But it's so funny that you bring that up. It just triggered my memory. Sorry, I could go off and ramble, but that is so lovely of you to say, Vanessa. I do love singing, but no, I don't do it professionally. Not that good, but I do like it. And Max is here, and Hassani, awesome V, I'd love to hire someone to cook, but until then, I'll link it to my highest values with the advantages list. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And you know what's funny also, Hass, is that we tend to end up in relationship with people who have differing sets of values. And I love the idea of this. So, if we're lucky enough to have somebody in our life who has those different sets of values, we can sit down together and we can link each other's values to our values. This is really great for your relationships. Any of you guys who are in relationship, you want to take it to a whole new level, to know what your highest values are, to know what your partner's highest values are, and then to link, to see how you living in your highest values can actually serve their highest values and vice versa. Whoa, will that take your relationship to an extremely extraordinary level? Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be loved for all of who they are. They don't want to have to bend and mold to the expectations and be judged for their set of values. But imagine if you could link your values to theirs, and when that you encourage them so wholeheartedly to absolutely be all of who they are, because you see how it serves you to be absolutely all of who you are, and vice versa. Nothing more powerful than that. So actually, a funny story is that I'm currently at home. I've been at home, for a few months now. And my dad is he's actually taken it upon himself to get really into cooking, whole new level, really detailed, recipes and whatever. And he's trying all new stuff all the time. And, people who know me in my life, they're just you are so spoiled right now, because literally breakfast, lunch, dinner is all taken care of. So I'm feeling like I'm very, very spoiled right now, because I hate cooking too, Huss, because I got more important things to do. I used to love it, and I do as a fun thing to do, if you're going to make a thing of it, but not every day. I'm so grateful that I don't have to do that, because I'd rather spend time with you guys. So love that, Haas. And Mario, I feel the most sure and inspired when I'm teaching and learning karate. Oh, that's super cool. I've always wanted to be in the healthcare field, but what I seem to be sure in is in karate. I feel amazing when I teach, but I'd like to eventually become a doctor. Just not sure if being a doctor is in my set of value. I feel confused. Anytime you're confused, it's really that you're just actually attempting to live in some fantasy instead of the reality of what's inspiring to you most. You always have the answers. Part of my job as a coach is to give you the answers, because I can't know like you know. It's part of my job as a coach is to help and question you, to wake you up to the answers that you already have within. And that is the most empowered place to be. So you generate that. I don't know about you, Mario, you can only know, but it sounds like, I'm sure when you're writing that and you're tapping into that you light up when you talk about or think about how life could be if you were constantly teaching and learning about karate versus becoming a doctor. Sort of like my past experience that I know you're aware of, Mario, in terms of being a lawyer, and that's the path that I was on, because I felt that's who I needed to be. I felt that's what was expected of me. But as time was getting closer and closer to actually becoming a lawyer, it was getting more and more painful for me and really draining on me. Lots of self-negative talk, depreciation, because I wasn't living in my highest values. And it took getting questioned and doing the work to actually give myself permission to discover what it was that I really want to do. had the courage to align with it, that completely revolutionized my life, and is why I'm talking to you guys like I do, and I get to do what I love and love what I do every single day and be inspired by it. And it's why I try my best, my very, very best, to help you guys have that same experience. So I love that you are getting clarity there, Mario. Remember, confusion is always when you are attempting to live in the fantasy that somebody else wants for you instead of the reality of what you really value. So remember that, and remember that everything is on your way, not in the way. And remember that anytime you're self-depreciating, not trusting and believing in yourself, is because you are not in alignment with the truth of who you are, and you're subordinating to somebody else's set of values. So I feel it's all empowering, and I love the journey you're on. So thank you so much as always for sharing, Mario. And Charlotte, I learned to ask myself, does the outcome merit the effort? Absolutely. That's awesome. Super empowering. You know, questions are power. You know, as Tony Robbins would say, quality questions give you quality answers, and therefore a quality life. So I love that. And Joelle, awesome to see you. Awesome. And Okan is here. And Joelle, to all, Vanessa, Vanessa is someone that is not a life coach, but a person that has gone through life experience that most are going through. She is awesome and a person that has helped me. Thank you, Vanessa. Joelle, you have absolutely touched my heart, my friend. That was so unexpected, so freaking appreciated. So thank you so much, Joelle. Super grateful to know you, super grateful for your strength in vulnerability and you as a leader. You know, I know you're part of my 8-week group coaching empowerment program. You're a superstar in there, and you're such a leader who inspires others in that community by stepping up and facing your fears about the stuff that most people won't address. And you do it, my friend. And I'm so grateful for you and really touched by such kind words, my friend. Thank you, my friend. I don't know, words can't express. And Suzanne is here. And Brian, what would be the first Dr. Demartini to start with? Awesome question. The breakthrough experience. That is by far, I feel, the best. It is his signature course. The breakthrough experience is just like, you got to get to the breakthrough experience. If you can't get to the event just yet, definitely pick up that book. That was the very first book I ever read of Dr. John Demartini. I feel the best, so I would go for that. But definitely The Values Factor is a good book as well. But yeah, I don't know. The breakthrough experience revolutionizes your life. And it still deals with a lot of values work in that book as well. So hope that's helpful, Brian. And Zane is here. Hello to you. And Shane and Belinda. Hello, my friend. And Alice is here. And Huss. With picking a business, do you think it's just as good to link a business to your highest values if you find that it's not totally in alignment with your highest values but gives you most of what you want, or that it's best to find a business that is in total alignment already with your highest values? Is linking equal? Awesome question. I love that so much. So here's what I would say. I would say that the purpose and what we should all be striving for is to either create or serve a business that is in full alignment with your highest values. The power of linking is amazing and awesome, but at the end of the day, I would feel personally, this is my judgment on it, I would say that linking is a short-term strategy. And we should be working going towards something that is in total alignment already with our highest values. That we don't have to try and find all these really difficult ways of how we're going to link that. That is a short-term strategy, but never step away from moving in the direction of discovering what it is that will inspire you at your highest level, whether that is your own business or somebody else's that you're really inspired to serve and be a big part of. I would say linking is more of a short-term strategy, but you know, I could see it going both ways, but that's my tendency. The less effort, the more, the better, right? And so knowing your highest values and getting that clarity, getting that filter, getting that focus, attracting that into your life as well while taking the action and doing the research. But in the meantime, you know, you might decide, I got some bills to pay, you know, and you're not going to get all idealistic and just sit on the mountaintop and think that it'll just come to you if you wish it enough, and you can just not have any responsibilities. I think short term, take responsibility, generate the income that you need, get you in alignment with finding what will really serve you through linking. But ideally, purpose, we're moving towards discovering something that's in total alignment. So I hope that was helpful for you, Haas. Appreciate the questions as always. And Davi's here, and Ibad, good morning to you, my friend. And Joelle, oh, you again. You are just so kind. I'm so appreciative to you, Joelle. Such a superstar. And Jeremy's here. Awesome. You night owl, you. And Neil's here, and Belinda. Yes, give yourself permission to follow your passion. Boom, absolutely. And it's funny because I've been doing this course. I just went to a course. I've got 6 of them this year that I'm really immersing myself in. But the first one was all around passion and purpose. And we actually used this kind of weird way of looking at it, but it was super powerful. We looked at different archetypes, and we discovered, I'm not going to go into too much depth with it, but we discovered our 3 passions, like the 3 ways of being that absolutely inspire our socks off. But we always have one particular talent. And so what we need to do, it's like a merging of both our passion and our talent that will allow us to be successful in terms of business, finance, being able to be paid for what we do and what we love doing. We have to also incorporate not just our passion, but also identify our talent, which we might not be that passionate about, might be not that energizing to us, but it is a talent. And if we can bring that to our passion, boom, life can take off in a really great way. So side note that was, but love you bringing that, Belinda. Thank you so much. And Byron's here, and Alicia, hello to you. And Huss, really appreciate you sharing your cooking story and thoughts about cooking 2B and enjoy at home cooking. Oh my gosh, my dad is really good. So lots of appreciation. Remember, rewarded actions get repeated. I'm really grateful there's a cook in the house. So thanks, Haas. And Stephen's here. And Haas, just noticed this has to be your record for Facebook Live time. Oh my God, I don't even know how long I've been on here for. Oh my God, loving the topic and all of your insights though, V. You're awesome and got so much from today. You the best. You the best. I love that, Haas. And oh my gosh, I don't even know how long I've been going. I think so far my record's like 36 or 37 minutes. So if I've been going over that, oh my God, you guys have got me talking today. It's all because I love your questions and your engagement. That's what I'm here for. And so thanks, guys. I hope it's not too long. I hope it's still valuable. And Sam, I'm inspired by how you use Facebook as a vehicle of production and transmission. Oh, thank you, Sam. I really appreciate those kind words. And I'm grateful for Facebook because I wouldn't be able to get to connect with you guys at all in the way that I do. So lots of gratitude. And Anantha, hello to you, my friend. And Mario, thank you for your words, Vanessa. I've been reading into Dr. John Demartini and has helped me understanding myself on a deeper level. Ever since I found you on here on Facebook, I've been on a great journey of learning what's in alignment with who I am and what I truly value in life. Oh, so grateful to hear that. You're amazing, Vanessa, and you have become a true light in my life. Much love to you, superstar. Oh, you are so, so kind, Mario, and I am so grateful to hear that you have been on that journey of alignment. There ain't nothing more powerful than doing that. When you live authentically, think about it. The people that we are most inspired by, most attracted to, the number one reason why that's happening is because they are being authentic. And at our deepest level of yearning, we all just want to be loved for the truth of who we are. That's being authentic. And it's a courageous act to just be authentic despite, people not liking you, people judging you, rejecting you, criticizing you, whatever it is. So people stay small, play small game. They try so hard to fit in and it takes them away from actually standing out authentically. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mario. You touch my heart. And Anantha, I have a question. Is it good to have self-centered thought on your own development, or will it have a negative effect? Amazing question, Anantha. And I know Haas and Sam, I know you, and Joelle, I know you guys are part of the program, so you will already have the answer to this, which is that every single one of us has an altruistic side where we want to give and it's all about everybody else. And we also have a narcissistic side. What's in it for us? And that's really healthy to understand that we have both sides and stop living in the fantasy that we can be all altruistic, all right? And that, or there's, being all narcissistic. It's all about us or it's all about everybody else. We absolutely have to be in balance. And you will never actually be sustainably successful unless you realize and recognize that we have both sides, and make sure that when you're creating a vision or a goal, you've got to make sure that it has the altruistic element. What is it serving? How is it giving? And at the same time, simultaneously, you have to have the narcissistic side. What will you have as a result? What will it generate for you? What do you want to experience, right? So you absolutely need to have both. People might term it self-centered, like you have there, Anantha. I look at that as the natural narcissistic side of every single individual, and we have to own both parts of who we are. We're altruistic, we're narcissistic. Until you own that, accept it, and realize it, you'll be living in fantasy, so you want to bring it to reality, and that's how you will generate long-term sustainable and fulfilling success for yourself and for others. Hope that answered your question there, Anantha. And are you kidding me? So have I been on here for 48 minutes or probably longer now? Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys, if this is just not even valuable, but you're still here, so it must be still valuable. So, oh my God, I can't believe that. That's blowing my mind. Vanessa, so true. I'm loving that this is of value to you. And Jeremy, Ness, what would be your advice when what causes people to get in a rut and the quickest way to get out of a rut and keep momentum going? Awesome question. I love you guys and your questions today. So inspiring. Can you see that I get a lot more inspired and energized as the time goes on and you ask me questions? So boom. All right, this is inspiration in action. So Jeremy, great question. What I would say to you is that we get ourselves stuck in a rut when we are subordinating to another set of values, when we're so overly concerned about what other people will think of us, trying to manage and maintain the perceptions of others about who we are, at the expense of our truth, and not doing the work to tap into what inspires us at the highest level and align with it. All right. So, and the quickest way to get out of that and get momentum going is to get into action in terms of up-leveling your own self-awareness. Self-awareness is foundational. And the moment you start treating yourself like you would a best friend, somebody that you truly loved, you gave them that understanding, gave them that compassion, and you believed in them and backed them into action. That is the moment that we can get that momentum going. And so like I said, I start with everybody that I work with. This is foundational. You must know and be going on the journey of uncovering your highest values without filter, without anybody else's expectations or judgments or whatever. The moment you get in alignment with your highest values is the moment you're inspired from within and not needing the external motivation to actually get into action. And the moment you do, you start generating that confidence, that courage, that self-belief, that self-trust, and you're inspired. You got energy. All right. So that would be my number one thing to focus on. If you're somebody in a rut, notice you're not living in your highest values. The world is trying to wake you up. The lack of energy is trying to wake you up. I like to think of it as when you are living in alignment, you're on your most inspired path, you get more and more energy. It's this message from the universe. I'm supporting you. Let's go. You're on the right track. You're on the right path. I'll give you everything you need. And on the flip side, when you're going down the wrong path, you're trying to subordinate to somebody else's values, expectations, all the rest of it, you're downing yourself because you're doing the wrong things. You lack energy, you're draining, problems, obstacles, people, challenges come in your way to wake you up. Everything is on your way, not in your way. Any challenge is there to say, hey, wake up, this ain't the right direction. Pivot, shift, get some more self-awareness, move in the right direction. Start doing that and you will get yourself out of a rut. Really hope that was of value to you. Jeremy, I so appreciate your questions. And Eduardo's here. Awesome. And Sam, you rock. You rock and you're fabulous, superstar. You always surprise me with your wealth of wisdom and depth of knowledge and amazing, clear and understandable, authentic transmission. Sam, you just keep touching my heart every single day, my friend. So much gratitude and love for you, and so grateful that there is value in these messages for you. Oh, so much love. And Huss, no apologies. I'm loving it. Oh my God, good. Oh my God, I'm gonna sign off. About to. And Mario, this is so valuable. I love it. Oh, thank you, Mario. So appreciate that. And Jezzy, oh, Jeremy, sorry. You are amazing. I love seeing you energized. Oh, thank you. Superstars. House is full of superstars tonight. God, I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for spending your time here, for your comments and your beauty, and definitely your questions. God, they energize me. I love them so much. So thank you so much for everybody who's done that. And Sam, I highly recommend this program and training with Vanessa. It's so valuable, inspiring, and empowering. It opened me up to my genius, and now on my way to reaching my limitless potential and my greatness. Don't sign off, Mario says. I love that. And Sam, thank you so much, my friend. It has been such a pleasure to work with you over this last 8 weeks. We ain't finished yet, and I hope it never, ever ends. You are such a superstar, and it is my absolute pleasure to get to witness your incredible authenticity getting stronger and stronger and stepping more into your greatness and sharing that with us all. You're an absolute superstar, and the pleasure is all of mine. So thank you so much for those kind words of recommendation. I really appreciate that so much, Sam, and love that, Mario. If I could, I'd stay on here with you guys all day, but you definitely get sick of me, so I better sign off very shortly. Just Abhishek's here, and Kuda or Quada, not sure how to pronounce, and Vanessa, thank you. That was awesome. So grateful to hear that. Vanessa, you superstar. And anybody just joining me, really hope that you catch today's recording, get a ton of value from this message. Remember, the whole message is all around, negative self-talk is here to wake you up from trying to be somebody else. All right. So don't look at it, negative self-talk, as this, I better try and be positive and just try and block out the negative. No, it is there for a reason. That symptom is actually health. All right, it is calling to you to wake you up, to start living in alignment. Don't just try and treat the symptom, get to the cause, get to what inspires you at your highest level, tap in to do the work on your highest values. And last little comments here, Donald, good night. You're going to bed? I'm not yet, but good night to you, and thanks for being here. And Huss, your energy is infectious and inspiring. Much love, V. Thank you so much, Huss. So grateful, and thank you for helping me generate this energy, because you guys do it for me. We're co-creating it because you are my inspiration. I hope you know that. And as always, guys, I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful, amazing, extraordinary, and I really hope that this super long message has actually been of value to you. I hope it didn't drain too much of your time. You guys just inspire me, and if you've got questions, I'm here to answer them and here to engage with you as much as humanly possible. Sending you guys all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you all tomorrow. Hope you can join me.